Welcome back, everybody, to EIF's 9th annual Wrestlemania. We are about to get into the main event, and I would like to take this time, while we're taking a short break, to ask some of our experts about the next few matches that you're about to see. Joining us on this panel, we have EIF Greedy, who will be partaking in the Money in the Bank match. We have...
Honestly...
who is also talking right now. We have Hybrid Maniac, who will be one of the 3 participants in the Triple Threat Death Match for the EIF Superstardom Championship. We have Hybrid Maniac, who will be one of... You can see him right there. We have Frost, Croftjag, NBC Master, and Pepsi, who will be joining Greedy in the first ever Universal Money in the Bank ladder match. And after him, and after Pepsi, we have Prismatic Porter, better known as the fattest man in the room, Tripod, who will be defending the Superstardom Championship against both Jetstar and Hybrid Maniac in that triple threat death match. So we'll start at the top of the party. While the party is connecting, as you can see here, but let's start at the top of the party. Greedy.
I'm gonna ask a question, and then we're gonna just...
Being a former Superstardom champion yourself, Greedy, who do you see coming out? What do you think of this death match, and who do you see coming out on top? Being a former Superstardom champion yourself, Greedy, who do you see coming out? What do you think of this death match, and who do you see coming out?
Greedy answer.
I think Hybrid's gonna win. I think Hybrid has the most experience, and I just think he doesn't have the nerves.
Very good points. Hybrid is one of the greatest Superstardom champions that we've ever had in this league, and he's an odds-on favorite with a great character like Daniel Bryan. But now going down and skipping past Hybrid, because we can't have him commentate on that match. Frost, are you there?
Damn. Dude, that's gonna be on the stream. Oh, damn.
Alright, it does not seem like we have Frost there, so we will go down to Mr. Dr. Professor Jag. Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, alright, Frost. Frost is there. Okay, so forget what I just said.
Shut up, I need to hear.
Frost, what are your thoughts on the Triple Threat Superstardom title match? You had a great reign last year. What do you think of this match tonight, and who do you see coming out on top?
I don't know if he could hear me, but I'm here. Hello. Oh, never mind.
I feel like it's not gonna be as great because I'm not in it.
And are those all your thoughts on it? You can't pick a winner. None of them are appeal to you as a undisputed Superstardom champion.
Or get muted so I can talk.
Yes.
All right, going from Frost, because everyone sucks and is laughing at the late responses, unfortunately, with what we're doing here on this panel and the technology we have available. Yes, I can hear you, Greedy. Because of the lag and delay, these questions are going to have a little bit of a pause in between, which is fine. We're trying to kill some time here on the show. We're going to go down to Croftjag now to ask his opinion on the undisputed Superstardom Triple Threat Death Match.
No.
Croftjag.
This has been the shittiest 20 minutes I've seen. I have been
At least you Ratlock tried. At least
No, I have to wait 18 seconds.
Everybody was so bad.
I have to wait 18 seconds for him to hear what I said again.
Should I talk?
So now it's echoing like all hell, so we're done.
Alright, thank God you're back. Yes.
No, but it was just so funny because Rallick was asking.
Am I on the air?
Asking Rallick.
Fuck.
I was asking Rallick to mute me, and he thought I said hear him, so I had to wait another 18 seconds for him to hear what I said.
All right, so the only way I can
Oh
find
my God,
out...
I'm still live. What the hell?
You're still live.
Why am I still live?
Come on, we're still live. Just professionalism. Let's go.
All right, so I guess we are still live. So, all right, guys. Fortunately for all of you fans, not only are we going to have more, actually going to have me here because obviously it just goes to show why I'm the perfect owner of EIF, because if I leave it untamed for 20 minutes, it's a fucking disaster. And we've probably lost a ton of credibility today and potentially followers along the way as well. So I apologize for those Twitch casualties, I guess you could call them that. But either way, guys, believe it or not, we have less than 5 hours to go, but we are looking at our big three because these could end up taking a really long time or a really short time and totally backfire and fuck our faces. But we're going to go with the former. So the first of our big three matches, which Hybrid, I believe, has no video packages, right? Cool. So we're going to be able to get right into it, guys. We're going to have some big wrestling here, and we've got big-time matches coming your way here to close out WrestleMania 9, starting with a 5-man Money in the Bank ladder match. And these matches were so big, they were too big for the panel itself. So we had to bring in specific people just for each panel to make sure that everything works out. So for the Money in the Bank, we have a 5-man matchup, and we have 3 men in our broadcast that are going to be a part of this in terms of our panel. We have Hostile, the, of course, king of Money in the Banks, I guess you could say. We have Aaron, who needs unmuted if he isn't already. And we have Tripod, who's the most recent Money in the Bank, who was very successful off of that. So, guys, welcome in. Now, all of you, well, Aaron, first off, congrats on successfully retaining your title just a few moments ago. And now you get to sit back, drink a cold one, and enjoy what's left here on the show. Of course, Tripod Hostile, you guys still have matches to come. But let's take a look at this Money in the Bank and how it came to be. We knew going into today that Greedy and Frost were guaranteed people in that Money in the Bank. We had 3 spots open up, and we had 3 qualifiers to determine who would go in there. We ended up finding our qualifiers to be Prof, Pepsi, and NBC Master. Now, this is all ED now, so despite the fact that they won their matches respectively as Lesnar, Sting, and Seth Rollins, now they're going to be using their created characters. So we've got those 3 guys, then you add Frost and Greedy into the mix. This Money in the Bank is like no other. This is probably the most powerful Money in the Bank briefcase we have ever given out in EIF, and one of these 5 men is going to have it. Now, there's some different rules put in place for this year's bank match due to the game mechanics as well as some other factors. So the first thing is, and of course, naturally, the person that wins this match is the person that is able to retrieve the base that will be hanging in the balance above the ring. It will be those five competitors with me as the sole watcher in the match. But you guys will need to keep air open for me because just so you guys know, you have to remember that I'm going to have to be calling the match, and I'm also going to be hearing from guys in the production truck. Some things happen like band moves, such as what we saw in the X Division title match, the U.S. title match. We have to make sure that those banned moves or banned instances of anything going on are caught, and sometimes I can't catch that live, considering you've got 5 people in the match. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of ground to cover. Another big thing that we're going to see with this is we've got a new rule put in place. In order to be eligible to win the Money in the Bank, you must hit 3 finishers. So a good idea would definitely be to call out your finishers if you're hitting them. Obviously, if you get caught calling out a finisher that you did not do, then you're going to be in deep shit, and I'll probably just disqualify you from the match, to be honest. But one other thing is, and like Hostile said, Rat, unmute him. But one of the other things that we have going here is that you've got again, 3 finishers need to be hit per person. So there's going to be guys that probably aren't even going to get the chance to be eligible to win. Now, you can climb the ladder. You can use the ladder as a weapon. But if you retrieve the briefcase and you have not hit 3 finishers, you do not win that match. So that is one big thing that you have to remember. Our reasoning for doing this is because our last Money in the Bank, which Tripod can talk about in a little bit, lasted about 5 minutes, and Tripod ended up winning the Money in the Bank off one pull. Now, I have seen ladder matches that have went beyond one pull of the briefcase, so this is going to be one of those where we just don't know exactly how long it's going to take, and that's going to certainly be a very interesting aspect here because we've seen it be one pull. I've seen matches where it's been 3 or 4, so it's just going to be really it's going to be a tough call here. It's going to be a judgment call. And ultimately, skill is going to come into the determination of the Money in the Bank, which this year, in one Money in the Bank ladder match, that's why we added one more competitor to make it a 5-man. This Money in the Bank is good for either undisputed championship. And there is a chance we could see a Money in the Bank cash in tonight. Tripod, you won the most recent Money in the Bank, a relinquished one for the Superstar title, which has you where you are now, about to main event at WrestleMania 9 tonight. What do you think of the move to just one Money in the Bank, as well as the overall format that occurred today, such as having qualifiers at Mania, and of course having the Money in the Bank be good for both championships?
What do you mean by the move to Money in the Bank?
Well, what do you think? Are you for it or against it? Obviously, as a world champion, it's a scary thing. You know that the Money in the Bank's going to be out there. But now you have a guy who could end up leaning more towards ED. So he might not really be gunning for you. But either way, what do you think about having a Money in the Bank now be a 5-man instead of a 4-man, as well as having it be good for both championships and having qualifiers taking place here at WrestleMania?
Well, I mean, for talking about the match itself first, I mean, like, with it being one briefcase for both titles, both the champions are nervous about the same guy. And once that briefcase is gone, say, for example, tonight, right after the Money in the Bank, it was cashed in on Ratluck, I would feel so relieved because I wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. And Ratluck is the only one that would be worried about it. Now, I mean, it's a big deal because, like, for the first time, it's for both titles. And, I mean, you can have kind of a strategy going into it, but it can't be about all just smarts anymore. You have to spot. If you hate your finishers, you can't just climb right away. You have to pick your spot and climb and know you're going to be able to grab that because you might only have one opportunity for it. And if you don't get it, you're screwed. Now, talking about the qualifiers, I thought it was a great idea, personally. And they're pretty shocking, the NBC winning. I wasn't surprised Pepsi beat Midnight, but it's like I said, the person who made the first mistake was going to lose. And Midnight made that mistake against Pepsi. And then you have James and Prof Jack, which I gotta say that's one hell of a match. But it was good. It was not the way I thought it was going to go at all. The only match that actually went the way I thought it would was Pepsi and Midnight. I didn't think Prof or NBC would win. So, I mean, Money in the Bank's a really big deal. I mean, look at me now. I'm Superstar champion. And with the briefcase, you could do it too. But you have to pick your spot. And I've heard rumors that the winner may or may not cash in on me. Well, I gotta say, if you do it, it might not be the right spot. You kind of should wait on it, like I did. I could have cashed it in. Like later on. If I had it for a year, I sure as hell wouldn't have cashed in the night of WrestleMania. I would have waited, because who knows? Like when Reptoid won the Superstar title, whoever had Money in the Bank, that would have been the perfect time to cash in. That's Reptoid. No offense to him, he was terrible. That was the perfect time to win the title.
I think everybody looks back at that and they think of and you're right, and there wasn't a Money in the Bank at the time that was able to be used I think a lot of people do look back at that and say, you know, that's one of those examples of those golden opportunities. Now, granted, Trevor, you are trying to plead a case for please don't cash in on me. So for those that are listening in, you know what he's doing and make sure. But and also a good question, Hybrid, about the you know what. But anyway,
it's all about
talking,
the money.
Talking to another guy, Aaron, you've been involved in back-to-back Money in the Bank ladder matches between WrestleMania 7 and 8. You saw the ED and the Superstardom side. Do you agree with putting them all into one?
Personally, I don't really know at the moment. I think it could be a good thing considering, as Tripod said earlier, it makes it that person is now a threat to both the
And the underconnecting. The underconnecting.
Undisputed champions. And
so the undisputed champion. All right, let's see if we can finish this sentence. Nope, not going to happen. All right. Is Hostile unmuted?
I don't think it's working. It's not unmuting me.
All right.
Oh, all right. Well, Aaron's back. So, Aaron, continue what you were saying about the undisputed champion.
But yeah, as I was saying, it's good that it's able to go after both titles because it makes that person a threat for both champions. But at the same time, now, also as Tripod said, the person no longer, like, once you cash on one, the other person no longer has that threat lingering. And at the same time, now it's like you have ED guys competing for a briefcase that could be cashed in on Superstardom, so it's kind of a weird thought to have that be an option.
Well, one thing's for certain is that whether their preference is to go for the ED or Superstardom Championship, if somebody were to decide to cash in tonight, they would have to make that decision before either of the matches start. Since both the main events are considered triple threats, they'll be made under a fatal four-way stipulation, which will allow only myself to watch, and that would prevent any cash-in from happening during or after, in terms of immediately after any of those matches. So it's going to be really important that the Money in the Bank person, as Tripod said, in a combination of what Aaron was saying, picks their spots. And then just to make sure, I don't think we can get Hostile unmuted, which is really unfortunate considering he's like the god of this.
I'm in.
Oh, you're good?
I'm in.
Are you on?
I'm good.
He's good.
People can hear him? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, they were cutting my mic,
perfect.
man. They didn't want me to speak.
I don't know why, Hostile. I mean, here's the thing, man. You talk about careers evolving, and WrestleMania and Money in the Bank is really what brought you over the hump. I mean, you look back at your first WrestleMania, which is the only time you main evented up until this point tonight at Mania. And yeah, you were known as a main event guy. You'd always been known as one. But going through Money in the Banks and showcasing your talent through there was a huge thing that really ended up putting you on the map in a lot of ways. You ended up winning, I believe, 3 Money in the Bank briefcases, if I'm correct.
Yep, 1 Superstardom and 2 ED.
And back-to-back-to-back years in doing so, by the way, from 5 to WrestleMania 7. WrestleMania 6 and 7 in particular, Hostile, many people look at as arguably a tie for the best Money in the Bank match or best WrestleMania match in history. And you've been a part of those Match of the Year candidates yourself, obviously coming out on top. You know, not to really give out that top secret advice, but since you're not in a Money in the Bank this year, you know, is there anything you can say? And don't forget, last year you won at WrestleMania with the IC title. So, yeah. I mean, is there anything, like, kind of advice? I mean, you've went up against guys that were up-and-comers trying to get their names recognized. You fought Greedy in his young days. And you've also been a part of all-star Money in the Banks with people such as Flip, DZ, GTA Fan. I mean, what is the strategy, or what was your strategy? What does it take to win a Money in the Bank to be able to do it as many times as you have?
Be persistent, keep climbing the ladder, and everybody really has a chance in this one because I'm not in it, so it's really going to help everybody out.
So the strategy is if Hostile's not in it, you have a chance.
Keep fucking going.
I mean, do you feel, though, that, you know, is it a pick your spots thing, or is it kind of just be nagging with the ladder? I mean...
Well, of course you got to pick your spot, but if you sit out the ring the entire match, you're not going to win because you're not going to climb the ladder. You're just going to keep playing defense. At some point, you got to go offensive. You got to keep going. All right. Eventually, the game's targeting will mess up, and you'll get it.
Well, that's a big thing too. You mentioned targeting. In a ladder match like this with this many people, targeting could honestly be the downfall of one, if not four of these guys, and the uprising of one. You've got a very good mix of talent in this match. So talk about a couple of things here. You know, you got the guys like the Greedies and the Frosts, the guys that, you know, have been to the top of the mountain, have done it multiple times. You know, not to say that there isn't an urgency for those two by any means, but if you take a look at who else you got in here, you have Prof Jag, you have Pepsi Killer, and you have NBC Master. You've truly got a very diversified Money in the Bank ladder match ahead of us today. A mix of people that have never gotten main event opportunities, guys that have gotten main event opportunities. I mean, there's so much that could go on. You know, Tripod, I wanted to ask you before anybody else. You look at these 5 names, given who they are, given where they've been and where they may be going in the future with this league, who needs this Money in the Bank briefcase more than anybody else? Who needs it?
Who needs it? Well, honestly, that's a tough one. I mean, they all really kind of need it. Like, Greedy, he's kind of fallen off the main event scene. You have Hebsy, who he fell off the main event scene, but this is his chance to get back up there. You have NBC, a guy who's never really been considered a main eventer, but he's starting to prove he can be up there. Then you have Prof Jag, who, again, has never really been a main eventer, but this is his opportunity. And then you have Frost. He's been in the main event. He's won these titles. So if I had to give it to anyone, honestly, it's a toss-up between Pepsi and Prof. They need it more than anybody. Because if they can't win this, who knows if they'll ever get back up to the main event.
I think I would probably agree with you on that one. And I'm going to, you know, I normally don't throw my name into the hat a lot when it comes to opinions. I'm going to give this one to Prof Jag in terms of who needs it most. One thing I've really noticed is a lot more people tend to have Pepsi's back in this league than Prof. Pepsi's had some opportunities at the main event before, Prof hasn't. And if you look at NBC Master, the guy is stacked with title shots. He just won another Carney Care package today via the raffle, you know. So this is a guy who's got so many upcoming opportunities. He's got a great character in Brock Lesnar as well that can really help him in superstardom if he does choose that path. But much like you were saying, Tripod, I mean, we're looking at guys even like Greedy and Frost who, yeah, people think they may be the odds-on favorite. They were the 2 guys that qualified before anybody else. But you can't say that either of those guys don't need it. They've watched themselves fall out of favor. They've watched themselves as main eventers in 2K15 descend into mid-card hell here in the new game. And that's something that I think both of them want to rectify. Aaron, you know, not to kind of put salt in the wound by any means and not to take away your credibility for winning tonight, but you sort of fall into that category too with what Frost and Greedy have as a guy who was main event talent and sort of trying to rediscover that magic. Do you think that this is the kind of match for Greedy and Frost that they can rediscover that and rekindle that ability to go back up to the top level?
Of course, because mainly speaking from experience, because when for the past, let's say, has it been 4 months, maybe 6, I've been pretty much fading away from EIF and just kind of falling out of the main event scene, falling out of the mid-card scene, just completely pretty much fell out of it all. But then I came back, won a few matches, lost a few, and then next thing I know, the second I got the opportunity at the United States Championship, I took it, and I've been running with that momentum since. So for Frost or Greedy to go in this match and win the Universal Money in the Bank contract, that's way more of a momentum push than me winning the U.S. title. I definitely think it's something that they could take and possibly use to become either the Undisputed or Superstardom champion and get back in that main event scene.
Hostile asking you the same question. You're a guy of, you know, mixed signals, to say the least. We've seen you leave, come, leave, come, leave, and come. And this is the first Mania, I think, that you've kind of came from going, you've made it a full year without taking really a large break in part of your schedule. I don't want to give you any ideas yet, but, you know,
vacation's
so
coming soon.
I mean, for you, you've seen some of these similar paths, and even in guys you knew. I mean, you can recall when GTA was going up against you at Victory Votes 2012 for at that time was the longest reigning undisputed title reign, and then you watched GTA finish his career last year against you for the Intercontinental title. Back to mid card he went. I mean, for Frost and Greedy, is it going to take more than this match? I mean, what does the result of this match, or what can the result of this match do in terms of impact to either of their two careers?
Well, I mean, you win Money in the Bank. That's only step one. I mean, that doesn't. You have an opportunity to put yourself back in the main event. That's what you win, an opportunity. If you cash in successfully, you're back in. Really, that's simple. Oh, Carney is connecting. Someone cut his mic. Alright.
It's payback.
Yeah. Getting him back. Making me work those extra hours. Yeah.
So, somebody continue talking about Money in the Bank.
Oh,
Aaron, talk about some of your experiences.
My experiences in Money in the Bank?
Yeah, talk about those. Talk about what it's like.
Basically, in the Money in the Bank match, it's a very stress-filled match because you go into that match and I'm pretty sure when I was in it, there were only 3 other competitors. So basically, you're going into the match with the big opportunity to win a shot at a world title. But fact is, you have at least 3 other guys who are trying to do the exact same thing. So it makes it like a really tough, stressful moment. And then in that match, you have to sit there and think, oh, should I, as Hostile was saying earlier, yeah, you need to go on the offensive, but you need to know the right time to go on the defensive as well, because there are many times, like in my matches, where I would be going too hard offense, and that would screw me up, or I'd be going too hard defense, and that would screw me up. So basically, you just have to find the right balance and pick your perfect timing to go for the belt, but don't be too picky about it, because if you're too picky, next thing you know, someone such as the likes of Nick, a candidate who forfeited his Money in the Bank, could go in there. Actually, he didn't forfeit it. He lost his opportunity, I believe, at Ratluck. But he went in there, and me and Frost were both trying to knock over the ladder, but at the time, we took too long to either get in the ring or we just were not being smart in the moment. And next thing we know, Nick wins the Money in the Bank contract and goes on to cash in and fail against Ratluck, I believe.
He actually relinquished it.
Yeah, he
Well, he did end up relinquishing it, but regardless, I mean, as you were saying, it's about capitalizing in that Money in the Bank. So I think you had a lot of good points there, and we're going to get one more question here before we start our next match. I know we haven't really had any matches for almost an hour now, so I really don't want any of our fans to grow weary here, but let's talk about the big question, the biggest question of this entire match, and that's who you got to win, all right? So we got 5 options. We'll go back to Tripod and circle around. Tripod, who you got and why?
Well, the man I have and the man I truly want to win is the underdog, NBC Master. I want to see him get an opportunity. He proved he deserved it tonight with how he mopped the floor with Deathlock. I mean, he's got the skill. He has the ability. He's probably smart enough even to pull it out. I think this one's going to NBC Master, and I think that the other guys like Greedy and Pepsi and Frost and even Prof Jag, their egos are going to get to be too much for themselves, and it's going to cost them. Targeting and their egos are going to be what costs them this match.
All right. Aaron, he's got NBC. Who do you got?
I'm pulling for Frost in this match. Last year, me and him were pretty much the dominant forces in the Money in the Bank, and when we both had a little mess-up moment where our targeting seemed to fail us, that's when Nick capitalized and won Money in the Bank. I think Frost is going to learn from his mistake last year and use his experience to go into this match and come out Mr. Money in the Bank, defeating Greedy, defeating Prof Jag, defeating the Rising Star and NBC Master, defeating Pepsi killer. I just think that overall, Frost has the experience bonus. Greedy has it too, but no offense to Greedy, but he doesn't seem to learn from his mistakes very quickly, whereas Frost is usually very quick to capitalize on past mistakes.
Well, that's true, and as a main eventer, you're taught to be able to correct your mistakes as soon as possible. Get us to our last opinion, Mr. Money in the Bank. Hostile Exile, we got one for Frost, we got one for NBC. You have Pepsi, Prof, and Greedy off the board. Do you take one of the two already selected, or do you pick a new one?
I'm going to pick a new one, and I hate saying it, but I think Greedy's going to win it. I think Greedy's going to win it, and he's kind of like a slippery, snaky type of person. He'd sneak up there, grab the fucking briefcase, and, you know, we need a buzzer. I can't stop swearing. So I think, but yeah, I think Greedy's going to sneak in there. Everybody's going to be, like, he's going to pick an opportune time to go on offensive, and everybody else is going to have targeting issues. He's going to be clicking the stick and rapidly trying to target the right person. There's going to be a mistake there, and Greedy's going to capitalize and get it. And maybe he'll cash in tonight.
Well, you know, there was targeting issues that led in our last match, U.S. title, to Aaron being able to retain. And there was rumors that if Greedy would win, we would see a rematch that hasn't been seen outside of WrestleMania 7, except for the anniversary show. So we can be looking at an eye on that one. But this one will hopefully be better than the anniversary show. So, all right, guys, we're going to turn it over now. I believe we have entrances about to be coming up here. NBC Master, are you back? All right, cool. Just making sure. So, all right, we're going to head to entrances, as coming up next, it is the Money in the Bank ladder match. The following contest is the EIF Universal Money in the Bank ladder match. Introducing first on his way to the ring from Sunnyside, Florida, he is the newest member of the EIF 2016 Hall of Fame, the Prince of Profit, the King of Currency, EIF Greedy. And so Greedy is now getting set for yet another Money in the Bank ladder match for himself. He has yet to win one, but he is hoping that it will be a different story here tonight at WrestleMania 9. Greedy has been waiting all day. He has been on with us since the panel started at noon, and now here at about 8 o'clock, 8 hours later, he's been here again the whole time. Greedy is now getting set for his WrestleMania 9 match. And this is going to be a big one for Greedy. He's been in Money in the Banks before, as we had mentioned. Never a Money in the Bank as big or as important as this one for his career. And of course, guys, want to remind everybody that whoever wins Money in the Bank could cash in even tonight. Even after the match, Greedy made comments that he would consider doing so to one tripod. So perhaps a WrestleMania 7 rematch could be occurring later on tonight. And that is if Greedy can win, or if not, will one of the other 4 competitors who wins decide to do that. This is such an interesting match. It sets the tone for the near future. Jeff can and control and much stalk whoever world champion they please. And now, introducing second from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He is Pepsi Killer. Well, I guess he got a little jealous of Lizman's entrance, so he had to make one of a creative blend himself. Pepsi Killer entering in a Money in the Bank opportunity. He's had a few opportunities when it comes to the main event championships, but not a lot. Still enough that you could only count on one hand, and Pepsi has yet to have what he would consider that golden opportunity. Here's the thing. If he pulls this briefcase down, this is Pepsi's golden opportunity. This is the time that Pepsi can strike in his career. He's been in EIF for about a year and a half. Really didn't get his career getting the full wheels turning until about a year ago. Last year, and it just goes to show the transition. Last year, Pepsi Killer was the walking in champion of the X division, defending against Wicked and Silver Crusher. 1 year later, Wicked was still in that X division. Pepsi was in the Big 3 and a part of the Universal Money in the Bank ladder match. And that just goes to show you the progression that this superstar has made throughout the last calendar year. And now, introducing third, making his way to the ring from Buffalo, New York, he is Prof Jag. Prof Jag was involved, as was Pepsi, earlier today in a qualifying match. Prof's the most entertaining of the 3 and the longest of the 3 against James Arkoffel, who just would not die, would never give up, as Cena says, and Prof Jag is able to still find a way to best him. A quick entrance from Prof Jag. You can tell this guy solely focused on getting the match underway and trying to overcome the odds. With a big guy that he has, it's going to be interesting to see how climbing the ladder goes for him. But everybody here has a chance, including this man who has coming off of a dominant performance. It's time to see if he can do it again. And introducing fourth on his way to the ring from Detroit, Michigan, he is NBC Master. So NBC coming out to a rather eerie entrance with the Druid theme in the background. Master switching from a beast to a phenom-like entrance. He kicked the show off 7 hours ago with the first match of the day against Deathlock, a man who was 3-0 at WrestleMania, a modest streak nonetheless, an impressive one. Not to mention Deathlock has been known to be one of the best in EIF over the last year and a half, and NBC made quick work of Deathlock, disposed of him in less than 8 minutes. Now he is here. NBC Master, that was not the first time he'd been a dominator. Over the last week or two, NBC Master has been in dominating match after dominating match. And he also is coming off of a win over the undisputed Superstardom champion Tripod. That match he didn't do so well in. That was this past week on Extreme Distortion, but now tonight he has an opportunity. Knowing that he beat Tripod, if he wins Money in the Bank, would he consider doing it? And remember, if that person wins, NBC's already had one match tonight. He wins this, he could end up having 3-4 matches tonight if he chose to do, and that same goes for the other two people who won their qualifiers today. They could be looking to win this match. That'd be match 2. Match 3 would be against the Superstardom champion or world. Match 4 would be the rescheduled main event with them being entered in, but they're going to have to get past this man too. Last but certainly not least, introducing on his way to the ring from New Hampshire, he is Frost! Frost entering through the crowd here at WrestleMania. He's been a fan favorite for the last several years in EIF. Came back to his glory days in 2K15, becoming a main eventer. Watched that slip away from him early here in 2K16, but he won a qualifier 5 weeks ago at Fierce Reality to get in this match, and where he stands 20 feet above him lies a briefcase with Frost's future or the future of any of these 4 competitors, as we are going to take off here on the stream one more time. But when we come back, we have our Money in the Bank match.